it opened in 1966, the Severn Bridge offered a dramatic but very practical new way to cross the UK's longest river, and it transformed travel between England and Wales. It quickly became an iconic feature of the landscape and proved to be such a success that 30 years later they had to build a new one. The second crossing is even bigger and better. When the original Nissan Qashqai was launched back in 2007, it also offered a dramatic but very practical solution for people who wanted a stylish-looking family car that seemed to promise a little more adventure than a regular hatchback. Something that would do the school run comfortably, commute economically, and which looked like it might tow a boat at the weekend. 250,000 Qashqais have now been sold in the UK alone, showing this has been a really successful formula. And it's a formula that loads of other manufacturers have been copying ever since. That means the Qashqai now has a whole host of newer rivals to contend with. So to keep pace, Nissan has launched a new model. Like the builders of the second Severn Bridge, Nissan has taken what works and made it better. So the new Qashqai is bigger, more family-friendly, more relaxing to drive, and features state-of-the-art technology. It also looks a lot better, thanks to the sharper, more aggressive styling and natty features like these LED running lights. Nissan has also kept things British. Like these bridges, the car is designed and engineered here in the UK, and the Qashqai is built at Nissan's huge plant in Sunderland. At present, one of these things is rolling off the production line every 60 seconds, and that makes the car a major player in Britain's motor manufacturing revival. And of course, all modern manufacturing started here in Britain with the Industrial Revolution back in the 1700s. Today, we're travelling back to a time when Britain was at the forefront of world industry. And along the way, we're going to find out how the Qashqai has evolved and what it's like to live with as a family car. The first thing you notice inside is the quality. Nissan has upped the dial from conservative to classy, with better looking and feeling materials, making it a really appealing place to spend time. This top-of-the-range Techno version is also packed with the latest gadgets. The central touchscreen displays information about the audio, sat-nav and the parking cameras, while the steering wheel controls let you flick through the trip computer to check everything from your fuel economy to the individual pressures of your tyres. You can also customise various features, including the weight of the steering and how quickly the automatic headlights come on. So the Qashqai has evolved some seriously high-tech features. And to find out more about the origins of modern technological development, we're heading upriver to another crossing over the Severn, this time at Ironbridge in Shropshire. So we've just come into the village of Ironbridge now. We're going down a pretty steep hill and we're looking out for a large metal bridge.
You have reached your destination.
Apparently we've reached our destination. On the first ever bridge to be built from cast iron. In its day, when it was built in 1779, this was cutting-edge technology, and it remains an important symbol of the dawn of industrial Britain. I'm here to meet Shane Kelleher, an archaeologist, to find out more about it.
Well, cast iron, first of all, here at Coalbrookdale, the first thing that was produced was cast iron pots and things like that, so cheap cast iron pots. Effectively the start of mass production and manufacturing here. That developed then onto cast iron cylinders, steam engine cylinders, cast iron rails, railway wheels, then to something like this, the Iron Bridge. This isn't just a bridge. You know, it is a bridge in the sense that it links one side of a river to the other, but it was also a statement at its time. You know, it was the first iron bridge, and they wanted to show the world, you know, the British industry, what British industry could produce. They were showing that cast iron was this important new structural technology that was going to change the world, and they knew it. They knew they were in the middle of an industrial revolution, and it was very important that they showed this. They had paintings painted of this before it was even built. It was very much an advertising piece, you know, and very much a statement, and it became a symbol of the industrial revolution, and at the time it was known as a wonder of the world.
We're not relying on coal power right now, and the 1.5 litre diesel in this Qashqai has all the performance you need. Impressively, official figures suggest it should cover 74 miles for every gallon of fuel, while only chucking out 99 grams per kilometre of CO2. Now, in the real world, that's a bit optimistic. We're currently doing around 58 to 59 miles per gallon, but that still makes it really affordable to run as a family car. Importantly, it's also a lot better to drive. It's really comfortable on any kind of road, and the handling is crisper and more controlled. It's also a lot quieter, until you add rear passengers, that is. And it's time for us to go and pick up a couple of small ones to see just how well the Qashqai meets its family car brief. The next stop on our riverside tour is the Wildfowl Wetland Centre at Slimbridge. It's part of what makes the River Severn so important, and it's also a great family day out. One thing the children really enjoy is the raised ride height in the Qashqai. It gives them a great view out, and it makes it easier getting them in and out as well. Another clever feature of the car is this flexible boot system that lets you keep muddy wellies packed safely away from clean coats. The panoramic sunroof is also a huge hit. This is standard on the top 2 trim levels, along with the rear view camera and the touchscreen infotainment system. As well as being an essential artery for industry, the Severn is a vitally important area for wildlife, particularly wetland birds. We're off to Slimbridge to meet Dave Painter to find out more.
Well, Britain generally is an incredibly important area for birds, and especially here on the banks of the River Severn. We've got the tidal salt marshes, huge areas of floodwater at the moment as well, of course, because of the weather that we've been having recently. But it's all about the habitat. That creates a fantastic habitat for huge numbers of birds, 40 to 50,000 waterfowl wintering within half a mile or so of where we are just at the minute. It's a great place for families, and Peter Scott's great vision was that he wanted to get anybody involved in conservation. So our centres are geared up to try and attract maybe the kind of people that might not normally come for a day out at a nature reserve. They can come here, use the kind of facilities that we have on offer. Great wet play area for the kids, a canoe trail, the building that you've just come through, sort of art galleries, interpretation areas, even shops and restaurants. They're important in getting the people to come in, have a good day, and then our job is to really try and show off those huge numbers of wild birds out on the reserve here.
Of course, when you're driving around with something as precious as your children in the car, safety is vitally important. Thankfully, the Qashqai is packed with gizmos to reassure even the most paranoid of parents. The car will check that you're wide awake and not weaving through lanes or about to pull out in front of an overtaking vehicle. Tailgaters beware. It'll warn you if you get too close to the car in front, and if it thinks you haven't reacted quickly enough, it'll brake automatically. All-round sensors will let you know if someone's wandered too close to the car, and the park assist feature should take the pain out of parking. The first Qashqai sparked a revolution in family cars, combining low running costs, practicality and style. This new Qashqai is more evolution than revolution. The character of the car is still the same, but it's just a little bit better in every single area. However, lots of small improvements combine to make one big difference, and this is one seriously impressive car. It does everything its family needs it to do, and it makes doing it a pleasure. Am I right, kids?
Yeah.
Looks like it gets their vote.